Question from Nick. Could you tell us how you develop some of your skills in researching and finding real truth? Are there certain websites that can help find big dirt on people like Biden? I already follow and pay attention to Ben Shapiro, Dan Bongino, Trump Jr., Charlie Kirk, and of course you. Oh, thank you. How do I do my research to find dirt on people like Chris Bowen or ScoMo? That's a great question. Does Google suppress information? Is DuckDuckGo better to find real true info? Nick, that is one of the best questions I've received so far on the show. It is honestly, people don't know how to research. I said this before in my little rant against boomers. They need to do a better job at researching and understanding how to find information and fact check. Stop getting Facebook photos that are really grainy and just copying it because your friend had it and not fact checking the facts that they put in there. You actually need to look it up. I saw a really, really stupid post put out by someone that's a follower of mine and a friend, because I saw their post. They put this post out and it was literally, it was Inauguration Day. And they said the whole thing was a setup. It didn't happen. It's a fake White House, they said. And they showed one photo and the White House was the round part of the White House. And they showed another photo, which was actually a square part. And they were saying, see, this is the White House. This isn't. This is a different place. They designed it wrong. They screwed up. The mask has slipped. And I'm like, bro, this is one of the stupidest posts I've ever seen. And I showed him a screenshot. I posted a screenshot of the White House from a bird's eye view, and it shows, yes, the north side has the round spot and the south side has the square spot. Maybe I've got that mixed up, but it's one side and the other. Okay, it's not fake. Okay, and I hate it because it's like no one fact checked it. There wasn't another comment that disproved it. I was like, guys, we've got to be smarter about this. Another one was the curtains. The curtains in the White House. People didn't realize that the curtains in the Oval Office change. It's decorated. The White House is decorated by the First Lady and partly by the President. And each administration has their own wallpaper, their own curtains and whatever. And these people were saying, see, the wallpaper is different here in this photo and whatever. And I'm like, bro, it changes in each administration. That's the first point. Secondly, there is a grace period where Biden will have Trump's wallpaper because there's a transition period. I worked in building. This stuff takes a little bit of time. They can't just do it in a day. And the wallpaper, when it's being changed, takes time. And so, Biden didn't have his wallpaper yet. By now he probably does, or maybe in a month he'll have it. But the point is, people don't fact check. They don't fact check, and because of it, they leave themselves open to attacks and being called stupid. And I don't want to see that. I want to see a strong people that don't leave themselves open to attacks, people that are articulate, cross their T's, dot their I's, and are very sharp. But that's not what we're seeing right now. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying be better. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. Nick, you asked who else, where do I get the skills from? Okay, so it's trial and error, okay? So you don't know until you sort of engage in political discourse. That means you need to have a tolerance, to have a very open mind. Now, temperamentally, a lot of people don't have open minds. It's good to constantly surround yourself with people of differing opinions. You need to break out of the echo chamber that I'm often in the danger of falling into. But I try to offset it by purposely going out of my way to have discussions with people I don't agree with, and then also listening to, on top of that, channels that I don't always agree with but raise good points. Now, that doesn't mean you go listen to the Young Turks, or you go listen to Fox News, or you go listen to CNN, or a fake news outlet like CNN or MSNBC. It means you go find people with differing views, however, people who diagnose the situation accurately. For example, there are a lot of progressives like Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske, who are secular talk. They are really good. They have a great record when it comes to talking about issues accurately. Now, are they biased? Absolutely. Am I biased? Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. The problem comes when you misdiagnose a situation. And unfortunately, the Young Turks have fallen into that in recent years. And it's looking more like the CNN of the internet. And I don't like that. Rage bait. Bull crap. But the thing with what's happening with researching is you get through this through trial and error. What do I mean by that? I'm trying to think of an example. You need to see an event happen, and you need to work out. You need to watch different ways that people report on it. What's a good example of this? I'm trying to think of a good example. For example, let's just say that I drop this on the ground. I throw it on the ground, and it makes international news. And you get people like Stephen Crowder, Tim Pool, and you have MSNBC report on it. Three organizations or three news outlets. Stephen Crowder says, yeah, he threw it to the ground. Tim Pool says, yeah, he threw it to the ground. But he sort of, released it lightly. And then CNN says he smashed it. He smashed it to the ground and he began to stomp on it. It's like, okay, all right, a sec. Okay, hold on a sec. You were right. Tim Pool, there's some overlap there. Where there's overlap, that's the truth. There's no overlap with CNN except the fact that it was put down. That's where the truth is, but CNN went too damn far. They went too damn far. So what I mean, it comes through trial and error. You've got to be following this stuff for a while, and you need to work out the track records of people. For example, Tim Pool's got one of the best track records I've seen on reporting on stuff. Luke Rudowski, who we talked about this week, him as well. Stephen Crowder, him as well. Intellectually honest people like Carl Kalinske at Secular Talk, him as well. Jimmy Dore, him as well. Great guys, really good. Those two are progressive, by the way, the last two. CNN, terrible. MSNBC, terrible. They believe conspiracy theories like that Trump colluded with Russia openly. It's like that never happened. What are you talking about? The Mueller report came up with nothing. Trump was acquitted by the Senate the first time. Don't fall into this trap of getting an echo chamber. You asked specifically about Australia, Nick. How do you do your research on finding dirt on people in Australia? That's a great question. I think that you need to find people in Australia that are doing this. Now, I don't have a ton of evidence on Chris Bowen or ScoMo, but what I can offer you is, so I've given you the advice. You need to find people you can listen to that you can trust and they have a good track record. I'm thankful you consider me that. With Chris Bowen, I can tell you some attacks now. Chris Bowen, did you know that he voted against his electorate? Which is a big portion of it is Muslim actually, and Middle Eastern Christian. He voted against his electorate on the same-sex marriage vote in 2017. That when the vote was done and the nation was consulted, there were 13 areas or suburbs or electorates that voted no. They didn't want same-sex marriage couples to be able to get married in the Australian legal system. Chris Bowen, in the vote in 2017, he voted yes against his electorate. And they never forgived him for it. And there was a 9-point swing against him in the last election. There's blood in the water. And people like Dr. Con Cafetaris have helped to put it there. If you want attacks on Chris Bowen, Nick, send me a message on Subscribestar. This is one of the privileges you get, guys. You get to actually message me on Subscribestar, and I'll actually message back straight away within 24 hours. Send me a message. I'll actually pass on the email of Dr. Con Cafetaris, and you can send him an email asking him for some attacks on Chris Bowen. And mate, he will unload. He is very good. He's met with Chris Bowen many times, and he's warned Chris Bowen, if you don't address religious freedom and if you don't deal with this unfinished business from what you did voting against your electorate, you're screwed. You're screwed. Let's see what super chat questions we got here. Ooh, would you look at that? Okay. Nick Page has asked this question. What do you think of Brett Sutton saying that pro-choice anti-vaxxers make up only 1.5% of the population at best? Media is trying so hard. I don't know what he's basing that off. I really don't. I mean, as I said in today's episode, Nick, we had a situation where, we had that poll from news poll from what was his name? We had the news poll that came out, and it was done over 100,000 people.